Welcome back, Ginger Snaps. Alright, so we're going to do a wicked wheel install today on our stock 92 Chevrolet. So, got to start out by taking the airbox out, take your intake tube off, CDR valve. There's a 10mm bolt here that has to come out. There are 6 on the turbo housing. And then you also have to take your boost clamp off here. And then you can get this cold side taken off. Watch your fingers, you'll want to undo your wastegate actuator back at the turbo. That way the spring doesn't bite you when it comes off. So we'll start taking this apart and do a step by step as we go. Okay, so airbox is out, intake tube is out, this is out, snail is out. Now, to help get these turbo boot clamps and everything off, do yourself a favor and heat this up with a heat gun and try to push it back onto the intake some. It's 30 degrees here, so it's a little hard to work with. As you can see, the old RTV inside the boot from GM is kind of swelled and goopy, so it's hard to work with. Here's our stock turbo wheel, and I'm going to get a 7/16 wrench on this thing and start to try to take it off. And then we'll see how it goes from there. So these are left-hand thread, so you got to remember that righty is loosey. So I'll get the wrench and we'll be right back. Okay, so 7/16 wrench, hand on, right hand threads. So turn to the right and it'll come loose. Start to get your nut moving here. Obviously this one is a little bit stuckish. Okay, I'm gonna get this wheel out of here little by little. All right, so that's out. So these wheels are supposed to be able to come right out. They're supposed to be loose. There you go, slides on the shaft. So this is our old wheel. So you can see a wicked wheel versus a stock GM through wheel is considerably different. You can see the blade shape has changed. Height of the wheel is different for your trim here. And you can also tell back to back that one is noticeably larger.
So why is there the scratch marks?
So this is a billet wheel.
What makes the difference? Billet
is a solid chunk of something round that they've machined into this form,
okay.
Whereas this is a cast wheel, so it's smooth and actually made in this shape basically from the first point. Okay. You can see these are balanced here, whereas these are balanced on the back side.
I see.
So now that you have your new wheel, what you'll want to do is go ahead and put a little bit of oil on this shaft and on this face before you start. So I'm actually going to clean up this back face before I put this wheel on. So I'll clean this up quick and then we'll be right back. Okay, so these wicked wheels are a little bit snug when they go on. So what you do is just use a heat gun and heat them up a bit. And then you can start to push them on. There we go, with full depth. So this one's getting closer. Alright. So I'll heat this up and draw it on the rest of the way momentarily. Okay, so you can use the nut once you get it part way on with your heat gun to help press the wheel on almost. Okay, so once you're essentially tight, remember left is now tightened. All you want to do is go about 45 degrees from your current location. And that's your torque. So here's our wicked wheel and our turbo. I'll seat it up. So I'm gonna heat this boot back up a little bit more, and that way we can try to get this snail cover back into place without damaging anything, because, well, as you can see, it's a pretty snug fit, and I don't want anything to get damaged on the wicked wheel. So I'll heat this up, I'll slide this back, and then we'll show you guys how to get the snail back on. All right, so the wicked wheel's in. It's nice and tight. Happy in its new home. So I heated this up. There's silicone on the back of these, as you can see from GM. You'll want to use a screwdriver and pry it up, and that way you can slide it back onto the intake for now. So you can take this little guy and set him back on and get him close to where he used to be. Now, I forgot to do something crucial because I was tearing this apart and I was thinking of doing this for the YouTube channel, not just putting it back together, I should have marked the housing right here with a Sharpie, so I knew what way was up. So, learn from my mistakes. Mark it with a Sharpie, and then what you do is take these bolts and put them back in here in your fasteners locations. And that way, you can start to snug this housing down and actually pull it back into the actual backing plate for the turbo. That being said, I'll get a couple of these on, get this pulled back into place, and then we'll start the adventure of getting this boot back on and getting the rest of the truck reassembled. As you can see, Mr. Wheel is in there. He's nice and snug. He's comfy. He's cozy. He's probably warmer than I am. And once I get these 6 torqued down, we'll show you guys the rest. Okay, so this nail's on. All 6 of our captures are on. This can slide forward. Yeah, I forgot to mark the back of the housing, but even a blind squirrel finds it out once in a while. So that's lined up. We'll get our clamps back over the top here, past all of our silicone. Thank you, General Motors, for your contribution. I'm pretty sure that they use more rubber to put this thing together than the Michelin man can provide in an evening. All right, so we got him on, and we're gonna get his buddy up here. Maybe, oof. Man, I'm gonna have to actually open this clamp up a little bit more. I guess we'll find out. Maybe. Oh, come on. I didn't need that wrench anyways. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, these are back into place. They are not a metric. They are 5/16. So we'll get them started with this. I'll use my ratchet to finish. That way I don't over torque the band clamps. So to do this job, you need one I said I didn't need, 10mm open and box end to get to your little captures. You need a 7/16 open and box end to get to your turbo nut here. Remember, left hand thread, righty loosey, lefty tighty. You'll want to ratchet with a 10mm for a couple of these because they're easy to get to. A 5/16 deep well to handle these little buggers. And you are going to want a large 1/4 inch Craftsman screwdriver to get your airbox out and get everything apart here. And also, you will want to put this back into place when you're ready with your 10mm screw that comes in and goes to the back side to hold them in place. And there's your turbo wicked wheel install. Now the fun part is I'm going to put this back together and we're going to drive it tonight and see how it does. Is it going to lower drive pressure? Probably not. Is it going to increase boost to better match drive pressure? That's what we hope to see. So I'll get this airbox back in and we'll go for a spin. Alright, so Wicked Wheel 2, 45 mile an hour to 60. As you can see, 9 pounds boost is about 16 pounds of drive pressure. So it's not bad. Still getting around 800, 825 degree EGTs. Stock, we saw 5 pounds boost, 11 pounds drive, 10 pounds boost, 21 pounds drive, and 950 to 1000 degree EGTs. So the biggest substantial change with the Wicked Wheel 2 is the EGT drop and the little bit of increase in boost, which means it pairs better with the drive pressure. So here's your Wicked Wheel 2 update, and now we can put this one to bed. That yes, it is a slight upgrade, but changing to a whole set turbo with a larger exhaust housing is probably your best bet for a turbo upgrade. Hey Ginger Snaps, alright, you just watched a video of me putting on a Wicked Wheel 2 and probably me driving the truck with the Wicked Wheel 2. So I'm either going to do one or two things, with the conclusion that it really has not made a huge difference and or is a significant upgrade. I'm either going to put on this cool KB diesel upper intake that we got from one of our awesome sponsors, or I'm going to put on this cargo lift pump from PT Wiring Solutions, and we're going to see what happens. Or I'm just gonna say, screw all of it. I'm gonna put the upper intake on, and we're gonna put the lift pump on, and I'm gonna put the 60mm hole set Wu-Tang war whistle that we've got in the garage on it, and see what it does. Because, as I just figured out, I mean, yeah, I lost 100 degrees, less than that, off my EGTs on the peak, and about 2 pounds of drive pressure off peak boost. That's not a lot, and those Wicked wheels are $150. So, that being said, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. My conclusion is, well, no, Jordan.
Oh.
No, you're not gonna call it a paperweight.
Damn it, but it's shiny.
It is a shiny paperweight. If you have a DB2 truck, my conclusion is, if you have a DS4 truck and you can get the truck tuned, they can pull timing out to help reduce how hard it drives the turbo, which then drops your drive pressure, which then drops your temperature, which then drops your intake temp, which then changes where your boost and drive pressure meet. That being said, I think that's how everybody's getting like 12 pounds of boost to 10 pound or 15 pounds drive pressure, or 10 pounds boost to 12 pounds of drive with a stock Charger is in a DS4 truck. My truck is a 1992 all mechanical 260,000 mile bone stock DB2 truck. The timing is what the timing is. It's nothing special. That being said, you guys can make the decision on your own if you want to buy a Wicked wheel. I noticed absolutely no sound difference. I didn't notice a massive difference in drivability. I didn't notice any throttle response change. It's 25 degrees out here, and I was freezing my butt off to put it in. And let me just tell you, I would not do it again if it came down to brass tacks. Thank you, Zach Fowler, for donating the Wicked wheel for testing. I greatly appreciate it. Maybe you guys will appreciate it too. That being said, you guys can make the choice. Do you want a Wicked wheel or not? Personally, I'd put that $150 towards either a whole set swap, an upper intake, a lift pump, or other things to help the truck run a little bit more efficiently. Thanks, guys.